Hello, and welcome here on my working table and welcome here on my channel. If you're new here, a warm welcome to you. My name is Lisbeth and I'm a Danish abstract mixed media artist. If you only are interested in a specific subject like stitching or jelly printing or whatever it may be, I do a lot of different things. Look at the playlist and find what interests you. But in this video here, you have hit it's about the 100-day projects for 2026, and in this video I will be making the last 2 days of the 100 days here. That means the day 99 and day 100. Everything I talked about, links and so on, here under the little word more you can find all the different links, and there is link for the rest of this year's 100-day projects. There's links for the last 2 years projects. And yeah, I think that is that. It's the 8th time I'm doing this, and I have decided to go around and do circles, as my substrate here is a watercolor circle. And yeah, let me see, I can't remember, was it 11 or 12 centimeters in diameter? And all the pieces for these 100 days are made on a substrate like this. And not to get bored over this period of 100 days, I have changed color scheme. And yeah, you can go back and look at all the ones if you want to. But the last little peep I want to say here before we get started is I have a Ko-fi account, link here below under the little word more. So if anybody feels like supporting my work here with my channel, or especially on my challenge, the Stitch Circle Show challenge I'm hosting here for 2026, and you can also find a playlist for that with all the information you need if you want to participate. But the Ko-fi account link is here under the video also, so you can support me there if you want to. In any way, don't feel obligated. But enough of me, yada yada yada, da 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 da. Let us begin. I have really been thinking much about what color scheme I want to these last 2 days. The last week here before this was in my favorite colors, the rust and the earth colors. And I won't do that again for the last two days here. So I have been through my scrap stack here of all the different things I have left from this project here, and I didn't really think there was something in there that was triggering me to say, oh, this is what I go for. So I went to look in my other fabrics and I found this piece here. It is a little, yeah, for me it's a big piece, but for my friend who has dyed this fabric here herself, it's a small piece. So I got it from her. So she dyes some very lovely fabrics, and you can find links about her under the video here. And her name is Tina, and she makes big art quilts. So for her this is a very small piece, but for me it's a big piece in this situation here. So I thought I would use a snippet of that because it has this ochre, yellowish, purplish print, and I'm not purple in any means. I don't go for gravitates or go to purple when I'm doing something, but I think these two colors really look nice together. So I've just cut a snip of that out. So and then I have a piece of that, or of that here, that is purple. So let us see if I can cover the whole circle up here. And then I have this, yeah, it's a ordinary piece of fabric from, I think at one time I had a tablecloth, so perhaps it's a leftover from that. I don't buy tablecloths. I go to my local fabric store, and then I found some. Often it is upholstery fabrics or thicker fabrics, and then I buy 2.5 meter, and then I put it on my table, and then I use it for a couple of years until I don't like to look at it anymore, and then I cut it up and use it for something else, and then I buy a new piece. And yeah, I think that is a good way to get a cheap tablecloth. If you don't, yeah, you can also go in the second-hand shops and buy old damask tablecloths and so on. That's also an option. I would like that. And do I have a small strip here? Yes, I do. Boop, boop. Can I perhaps take it a little further up? Do something like this. Yeah, then it is too small, this one here. Yeah. What does a wise woman do? That is perhaps a little too small. I would really have loved to, or else I should cut this off so it ends up here instead. Just a small piece here. So let me cut a little more of this. I can't tear this fabric here. It won't tear. So I have to cut. There and there and there. And then I can put a small piece of that up there, and I will turn it the other way there. I think I will go for this. So I will just find my old, yeah, I have some old book pages here I can use for gluing. So let me see here. I think I can cut a little more, not much, but just a little. I can, of course, just have glued it down, but then it will be quite chunky there. So on with this first. Yeah, and there's something horrible. Yeah, that's perhaps a too strong word, but it's so sad. I buy these glue sticks in a we have a shop here in Denmark called the Tiger, and I also think it is in other countries. And right now you can't buy their glue sticks. They are not in stock, and that is not good, because they are the best glue sticks we can buy here in Denmark, and also in fact the cheapest ones. So but I hope they will come again. Yeah, do I like the frayed edges? I think I do. So perhaps maybe I will put this up here. So let us just do that. Yeah, and I have no troubles with, or no problems with gluing fabric with my glue stick, because it's just to holding it down, and yeah, it isn't a museum's piece I'm making, so that is fine. So on with that, and then there was this strip here. As soon as it is dry, there's no trouble with gluing, not gluing, but with stitching into it. But it has to dry a little bit, then it is much easier to stitch into. It is nice to stitch into wet glue, so give it a couple of minutes when you have glued it down. There. Whoopsie. And here we go. Yeah, I could have put this a little higher, so here you can see here you have a little time. Let me see if that is better, because I want let us go for it there. So I turn it over and rub it a little, and then I will let it dry and cut all the overhang off. So I will just cut this clean, and pardon my perhaps not very nice cut, because I have just been to a friend where we was doing something crafty together, and I forgot my bag with all my scissors and glue and pencils and everything, and so it's another scissor than I'm used to. So yeah, but let us see if it will look all right here. It's a little, yeah, you probably know it. You're used to your tools, and when you suddenly get another tool in your hand, it's a little funny. So there is missing something there and there, and that doesn't look very nice. So I will have to find something to cover that up. So let me see here what I can find and do about that. I think I will see if I can find a place here on this piece and cut some small pieces off. Let me bring you in a little closer here. So I've just lifted this up, and then I will put some glue on here and put this in here. There. And that. I will do exactly the same here over at this side here. Lift it up a little and put a piece in here. Yeah, that is all I'm going to do. Give it a dab more there, and then I will cut this off and this off there when it's dry. And now we can decide what to embellish with and what to stitch. I know I made it this way, but I think I will put it this way instead. And I have this little piece here, and yeah, long story short, at one time I was a member of the Danish Yarn Association, and in fact I was in the board, and made their bookkeeping and so. But every year we choose some very special and yarns with special that could do special things, things that normal people can buy in the shops. And the board, the Yarn Association was when it began in 1980. 89. It was for professional weavers and knitters and other people who made a living of it, but over the years ordinary people also could be members, and you could only buy these strange yarns if you were a member. And we had this yarn in our stock, and it is a plastic or polyethylene made tube, thin tube, and inside the tube is a very thin yarn inside, and in this case it was yellow goldish, and in the industry use these yarns for weaving into seats in cars and buses, so it would be more durable and you wouldn't slide around. But many people use them for making bags and so on. But I figured out at one point that if I put it between two pieces of baking paper and put my iron on, it would melt because of the plastic here. And then I made these swirls, and I really like them, and I have them in different colors, because the yarn inside the hollow tube here you could get in gold and silver and red and blue and so on. And they weren't so strong in the colors because the tube is transparent, and so they look like this. So it isn't something I can say where you can buy, because sadly the Danish Yarn Association closed like for 2 years ago, because the world was getting so small, so all the professional people could buy themselves around in the world. So I think I will just place it down here with a couple of stitches, and then I will do something with the purple, I think. So the only thing I'm doing is I'm holding it down here. Come up. I will just let it hang there for now and go down again. So it's like couching, you can say. And I will just do it some places so I'm sure it will sit there and not fall off. So invisible as possible. So the thread here I'm using is again my beloved mercerized cotton, and I will say it again. And it is a Dutch brand called Venne, and it is mercerized cotton, and it is NM34/2. That's the name of it and the name of the brand. And now I come up the wrong way, but I think you could see what it is I'm doing. So I will just secure that by couching it down some places, and when I'm done with that, we can go on to the next step. Whoops, and no knots here, please. And before anybody asks me about these watercolor discs, I have bought them locally here in Denmark, but I'm sure you can buy them in the big internet. And as I said, they are 12 centimeter in diameter. So, but I will just secure it more and be back. Then this is secured, and I have just drizzled a bunch of French knots all over here in between the lines. So this is the way I do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down in the same hole, and keep the tension here with your thumb on the thread. that is a stitch I have done a lot of other times. So I think that is enough, but I also want some purple out here in this area. So I have, let me see here, it is, I've taken my tin plate and I will just place it here on this plastic where I can poke through, and then I will make a half circle here. Let me see if I can place it somehow, and then I will just poke through here. It is so difficult not to count when you're doing like this, so the numbers are going inside my head, 1, 2, 3, 4, so, but I don't need to count them, but my brain automatically does that. And this poking tool here, I also talked a lot about, but I can say it quickly again, is one my hubby has made for me, a wooden handle, apart from a compass, and I can change the size of the needle out here by turning this little gear. But you can easily make one yourself with a cork and a darning needle, or a thinner needle if you want smaller holes. This is the thing that that needle decide how big your holes will be. But it's a nice way to poke and pre-poke. You can, this plastic thing, I don't know where I got it from. It's some packing materials, but you can use some cardboard or corrugated cardboard or something, all the packaging materials we get, or an old book or some felt, or you can use many things for poking, so you don't damage your table or whatever it is you're poking through. So I will just come up here and down in the next hole. I will do back stitches up in the next and down in the previous hole. And the smaller needle you can thread, the easier it is to stitch, because these holes I have made here are not very big. I could of course have used the cork with a bigger needle, but yeah, I chose to do it this way here. So that is quite easy. Up and down and up and down. If you're one who was always scoop stitching, you will probably find it very differently to stitch in paper, because you have to stab stitch. So yeah, that was a little knot, but I think you got it. There. There. So I'll just do it until I reach that point there, and then I think it's done. So here it is, day 99, and I really like this color combination. It's a little strange perhaps, but I really like it. So let us write here, day 99, and today it is 31 of May 2026. So see you tomorrow, where I will make number 100 and perhaps tell you a little about my experience this year. Good morning and welcome to day 100 here. Yeah, it's unbelievable again. 100 years, not years, but 100 days have flown by. Yeah, not 100 years. But let us make this last piece here, and then I can talk a little about my experience this year here. But I know I have this piece of that fabric I showed you here in the beginning, and I have this strip I also want to put in. So I think the first thing I will do is glue this piece on, because then it gives itself the rest, I think. So here I think I instead will glue here on the substrate, and it is always nice to work on watercolor substrate. It gives it, yeah, it's just nice to work on that substrate. Of course I could have traced it and cut it out myself, but it was easier to buy a pack there was 100 here in a pack, so that was easier there. So here again, glue on, and I can see, I think I did it the opposite way on yesterday, but you can do both put glue on your fabric and on your substrate. There, and down with it. Yeah. And then I had this little piece I think I want that there and that there. So again, I will just cut a little sliver of this and put it down here. Yeah, I could have cut something of this off before, so it wasn't so many layers upon each other, but I think it's okay. There. There. And all these little threads away with them. And then I have this piece here. I think I will cut this off here before I place this on, then I can better see it where I want it. So I know it is a little damp yet, but I think I can manage. It is best to wait until it's dry, especially if you have put glue on the fabric. It doesn't matter so much because I put the glue on the watercolor paper. But if I had put glue here on the fabric, I would be cutting into fabric with glue on, and that's not nice. And away with these pieces here. So let us see here. Oops, there's flapping something here. There, that was better. So do I want it here or here? And I think I want it like this. So I will just put glue here on the back side of this. Oops. And place it here. There. It frays so much, this fabric here. this also. But I will just let this dry and then I can decide what I think I will do. But I think this piece here is going to be placed. Yeah, you could also, but it drowns a little there. It isn't so visible when I do it that way. This is, remove these. It's perhaps it's easier to see what I'm doing. Yeah, somehow where do I want it? Don't think it looks so nice as on the other one. Perhaps it's too big. This is quite big. And perhaps I could cut some of it off so I don't have all this, but only, do I dare to do that? I think I will try that. I have another one if it goes wrong. And you will see I can cut quite easily into it. There. I think that is better. The other one was too big. But this can perhaps go into something else. You never know. So don't throw things away. I have a plastic box where I put all these kinds of small things in. So I can just look in the box when I'm doing this and think, what do I want to put on? So there. So I will thread my needle here again with this color and sew it on as I did on the other one. And then when I have done that and cut that off, I can show it to you, and then we can talk about what else to stitch. But it would be sometimes it would be so nice if I could hear you. But yeah, you can of course comment, but it's a little too late for me taking advice from anybody this way here. But so it must be. Okay, so now this sits there and won't run anywhere. So I know I will do a circle with back stitches on this area here, but with this and with that color. But here, that line here, I want to do some small cross stitches perhaps, so I can just pre-poke that. The way I do it is that I make a hole here and one on a line, and then I count 1, 2, and then I make 2 more, 3, 4, and then I know I can make a cross, and then I count again 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So I know I won't end up with 2 holes down here that won't be used for anything. So that's just the way I do it. Let's come up here and away with this awful color for now. So I come up and I go diagonal over and down in that hole there. Come up in the hole above and go diagonal and down. I don't do it as if I was making embroidery with tapestry or needlepoint embroidery, where we make one of the half cross and then the other that way and then the other way back. I make Oops. I'm talking and not concentrating, but I'm making one cross up at a time. But you could do the other thing. That's no one, I think, could see that or would prevent you from doing that. There. So that is a nice stitch, and that way here I will secure that thread down also, so I know it isn't sitting flapping there. Not difficult. So I will continue here with I think there's two more crosses, and then I can show it to you. Whoops, sorry, it was shaking though. I want to pre-poke here again, so I have taken my template and then I just go for it like I did yesterday. And I think I will see if I can talk and poke, but it's so difficult. I don't know how my crazy brain, why it wants to count, because I don't need to count. It doesn't matter how many times I poke in this case here, just that I make a very neat and nice circle. And that is what you get when you poke up against the template. Then you will get a very nice circle. There it was, or is, or what it's called, but you can see the crosses there, and they look quite nice. So I will just come up here, there, and take a little piece of tape, and I'll run out of normal tape, so I have this medical tape here that works quite fine also. So it is again just up and down and up and down. But perhaps when I'm done with this, we can whip around the stitches so it will be even more visible, this circle here. But I will see if I like that or I don't like it. But it would take a couple of minutes before I am all the way around. There. But I can show it when I'm done with the stitching here. So here it is, number 100. So let us write it on the back. And it is the 1st of June 2026. Nice round circle. I nearly got off the edge, but it stayed inside. So I think it mimics this pattern very well. So here they are, the last two of them. And I will take some pictures or close-ups at the end of the video. If I should say something about doing such a project as a 100-day project, and this is just my humble opinion about it, and that is, if you want to do it, choose a subject that you like, and choose ways of working that you like, and don't make a bigger bread than you can eat. That meaning, don't make big pieces that would take forever. Do something that won't take all your time, or you will have to, you can easily get behind if you don't get finished every day. And that is of course the meaning of this project, is that you do it every day, but make it manageable for you by size or components, or the way you want to do it. I think that is the best way to get success with this kind of projects. And also, and that so you can enjoy it, and that it won't be something you think every time you sit down, for instance, in the morning, you think, oh, am I going to, I don't, oh no, and then you skip it, and then you don't do it. Make it interesting for you, make it manageable in size for you, and choose something you like to do. And I will nearly guarantee you something will happen during the process. New ideas will come up. I have chosen here, and this year I have chosen to go round, and that isn't the easiest way to work. I wouldn't recommend starting doing something in circles if it's the first time. I would say go for squares, because then you can turn it any way direction that you want to. But I have also decided to change color scheme every week, and that has really got me going. So it stayed interesting, and I was looking forward every morning to, not always morning, but every day, to what I was coming up with. And I don't think I would have had the same, that it could keep my interest for 100 days if I only had done the same color scheme all 100 days. It would have anyway had been a much bigger challenge, because then you really have to think about what you're doing and expand the things you are doing with the pieces. That would, I think it would be tougher to if you only have the same 5 materials, for instance, and doing the same for 100 days. And I think it would be difficult, and for me it would be more boring also, I think. So this way of working suits me very, very well. And what also kept me on my toes is there are several, those of you who have been with me for a while know my favorite colors are the earth tones and the rust and the golden colors, and I very, very seldom do purple things, but sometimes it is good also to challenge yourself to use colors that you don't gravitate to, or you think you don't like, or use them in combinations. Like for instance here, this is a really funny combination, and some of you will perhaps say you don't like this, but it is challenging to put things together you probably don't think would work, and see what you can come up with. So there are many things, small things you can do inside the challenge to keep the interest, so you keep on going. I wouldn't hesitate doing this next year, but again, I will find something something different to do next year. So I won't sub up in the same year by year. So find something that, what is the expression, tickle your pickles, I think your English are saying. So that is important, I think. But so it has been a very nice 100 days, and now these two will end up in my cookie jar, or in my cookie tin here. I haven't, then I can get it here. I haven't been painted it yet, and I don't know if I will paint it, because the lid is nearly hopping off, but As soon as I put these two in here, I can tape it down and write 2026 here on the top of it. And then they are going to live here in my box. Someone asked me what I was going to do with them. And my normal answer is always absolutely nothing. Yeah, if somebody would come to me and say, do you want to exhibit these, I would gladly say yes. If somebody wants to buy some of them, for not one of each or so, but for instance, this last week or another week, they would like to purchase, and I would also sell them because I have so many things, and the day I ain't here more on this earth, all the things I've been doing will be put in the dumping place somewhere or set on fire, or I don't know. It doesn't matter. I have so many things. So you can write to me if one of the weeks is interesting to you and you want to purchase them for not a very big amount, but we can take a picture and send it to me. That is also an option, but else they will live in my box, and perhaps if I'm out teaching or something, I can use them as examples for what you can do with fabric and stitching and a substrate. So I think I will just say goodbye to you and to this 100-day project. So let me just say proper goodbye to you, and hopefully I will see you again very soon, and not next year at the same time for another 100-day project. I will probably be doing a lot of things before we reach that point. But I hope you have been enjoying this series here I have been filming for you, and can tell you I have been enjoying doing it, and that is also a very important thing, that you enjoy what you're doing. So please give my video a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing my little Danish channel if you want to follow along here and see what I'm doing. That would be very much appreciated. You can always give me a comment and ask me things, or if you want to say something you thought of when you were seeing my video here, please let me know. I answer all your comments the best I can. But the last thing I want to say, that is, please stay playful and creative, and also please take care of yourself and people around you, and not but least of all, please be nice to everybody. So thank you for now, and thank you for following along with this 100-day project this year 2026. So bye for now, and see you hopefully soon again. Hej hej.